We first learned of the British Columbia Pipers Association's new youth committee when we spoke with BCPA Vice President David Hilder in May 2024. So we wanted to investigate the initiative further by speaking with a few of the committee's young members. The chair of the youth committee is Aiden Fowler of Langley, British Columbia. At age 22, he is the youngest member of the BCPA's board of directors in the association's long history. He started piping in 2012 with former Grade 1 pipe major Hal Senek and the White Spot Pipe Band. He's currently a member of Grade 3 Cascadia and competes in Grade 1 amateur solo piping. Grace Barnes of Trail, British Columbia, began playing with the Trail Pipe Band only 5 years ago. She is now a member of Robert Malcolm Memorial and was recently promoted to amateur Grade 1 status by the BCPA. Jack Martin is from Pender Island, British Columbia. He started piping at age 10 with teacher Alistair Lee and later Zephan Nickel, and has been a member of the Northwest Junior Pipe Band, Haleybury, and Robert Malcolm Memorial, and is now a member of Grade 2 North Stratton. We start with David Hilder, when he first brought our attention to the Youth Committee back in May 2024.
One of the other initiatives that we've done is we've formed a youth committee, and we put the idea out there to see who would be interested. We had a robust number of people put their names forward. And in fact, we had to have a discussion of whether or not we were going to put a cap on it or not. And we decided not to. So they've kind of formed this group. They have their own way of communicating, their own forums to communicate. They report back to the board. They formed a committee and put on a Kaylee. They invited the two youth bands to perform at it from the Lower Mainland here, and they brought in some guest performers, and they all had a mass band performance with it. There's plans to make some more events. So what we really did was we said, what do you want? We know what we want to deliver, and we've been delivering the similar things for a long time. You are our future. You're our future board. You're our future end users. And yeah, what is it that you want to see out of the association?
It's Pipes Drums, and we are really delighted to be talking with three members of the British Columbia Pipers Association's Youth Committee. It's a new initiative that has been developed by the BCPA in the last year or so, and it's one of those things that we really found exciting when we first heard about it, and just wanted to learn more about what they're all up to. So we've got Aiden Fowler, all coming to us from British Columbia. Jack Martin, and Grace Barnes. Thanks a lot, guys, for taking the time to chat with us today.
Very happy to be here.
Excellent. So just want to start off, tell us what the BCPA's Youth Initiative Youth Committee is all about.
It's really kind of like I wanted it to be a very kind of low barrier opportunity for youth to get involved in the organization. So we have like pretty informal meetings, mostly over Zoom, and we just kind of discuss what the youth members, want to see, any events that we want to have, things that we want to promote, and then we take it back to the board essentially, and we go from there, right? So one of the first things that we did was a youth committee Kaylee last April. And that was a big success. We had a lot of people out. It was a lot of fun. It was just an opportunity for kind of a social night that wasn't focused on competitive playing, which we all do as well, right?
Yeah, and maybe talk about some of the goals of the committee. What are you actually trying to put to put together? Just looking at Jack, who's been interrupted there. But maybe some of the goals. Grace, maybe you want to take a shot at that?
Sure. I think that the main thing about this committee is just connecting the youth, because there's no real place for us to get together and share our ideas. So I think it's mostly just a collaboration thing where you're seeing all these other kids your age, and it's inspiring just with that. So yeah, really just getting together and getting to know people and forming those relationships, because I look at all these people, I'm like, you're my age, I can relate to you automatically, so it's nice to have that as sort of an outlet. So
yeah, that's really good. Jack, maybe you have any thoughts about the goals of the committee?
Personally, I'd like to see more interaction between bands, because in the West Coast, just from what I've seen, it's a lot of we're all competitors, we're all against each other. And what we did at the youth committee, Kaylee, is we had a bunch of people from a bunch of different bands come and play tunes together, and it was really really fun. I really want to do that again.
Hmm, interesting. So it's not all about competition, I guess.
Precisely, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe a few thoughts. I mean, you look around and associations, the BCPA has obviously realized this. Not many younger pipers and drummers are getting involved with associations and, positions or organizing committees or things like that. Hopefully that'll change. But, why do you think it is? Maybe Aiden tackle this. Why do you think it is that younger people aren't getting involved?
No, I definitely think that for a lot of young people, there's just kind of an assumption that the associations run themselves, which I kind of grew up always thinking, right? Like I never had to deal with any of that, you know. Like before I was elected to the BCPA board, I had no idea, what it all takes to run events smoothly, have competitions, Highland Games, and how much organizing needs to be done like every day by the volunteer board members, right? So it takes a lot of work actually to run an effective organization. And I think that, if more people, maybe more young people knew that and knew that it's not all really hard work. It's just, getting involved and showing up and, helping out where you can, right? That I think a lot more young people would get involved if there's maybe more knowledge of that.
Yeah, and Grace and Jack, are you involved only with the youth committee, or do you have more involvement with the BCPA's board of directors and things like that?
I mean, I'm completely separate from BCPA apart from the youth committee. I just show up
Okay,
and play.
right. And Grace, are you in the same situation? Yeah. Yeah. Do you see yourselves maybe in the future getting involved with the association in more ways, kind of like Aiden is?
Yeah, I'd like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. That, you mentioned before, I think, Jack, competition and, the youth committee kind of looking at things that are less competition oriented. What's your perception of band and solo and drumming competitions? I mean, you're all relatively new to it. Do you enjoy competitions? Do you get tired of them? Or, what was it like when you first got into piping and drumming? Were you surprised by the competitive nature of it all?
When I started out, it was a pretty tough thing to do, to dedicate like weekends of my time to go to these random places and play bagpipes. I was like, why am I doing this? And then COVID hit, and it was all online solo competitions. And I remember a bunch of pipers, not just myself, detested the idea of solo piping. And then right after COVID, band practices were starting up. And as soon as we all got together and I got to see all my friends, I remembered why I enjoyed piping, because there's that huge community that they love to play pipes. I don't know why, but they do. And for me, that's what it's all about, getting together with people. And it's made me love doing solo competitions again, to see all my buddies.
Grace, what are your thoughts about that, about competition and that whole element of it?
I definitely agree with Jack that once you form relationships with people, you're automatically drawn to go to those events. And being an out of towner, it's something I crave. I want to see all my friends and I want to see all these people. And I think it's just a really great opportunity to grow in like your own personal skills because as a soloist, it's like you walk up to this judge and it's intimidating, right? So you get to learn these social skills and you can apply them to all parts of your life, really. And it's the same with band, like you're learning all these leadership skills and teamwork skills, and you can really just you can bring that into your life. So
That's amazing. And Aiden, would you concur with those thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a competitive guy. I love competitive playing. That's the reason I'm still a bagpiper. That's the reason that we're all grade one pipers here, but that's the reason why I got to grade one is because I enjoy competing so much, right? And it's, yeah, really one of the things that I love doing the most. And when I came into this role as the youth committee lead, I was being told by several people older people too, not just the younger members, that we need more kind of social nights and less focus on always competitive all the time. And I think that's true too, right? Because we all enjoy competing and we all love that, but we kind of need to have some more fun events, which is part of the reason that this youth committee came about, so that people can get out of their silos, right? So that the kids from RMM can interact with the kids from White Spot, right? Or Northwest, or who other organizations in the BCPA, right? And that was really one of the main things that we're trying to do here as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I guess maybe you guys have been around long enough, I guess. Have you seen a little bit of a change towards that? Less competition, more camaraderie, more, collegial atmosphere, and less of the kind of must win everything now?
When I was coming up, like when I was a younger player, I'm still young. I'm only 21, but when I was a younger player, it was very much like, ooh, we're not going to go over there and talk to our competitors because they're on the other band, right? But I see it now with the kids that I'm teaching, now that I'm teaching with White Spot, that like it's like, oh yeah, those guys are all our friends, and they go and talk to them, and before solo competitions they're all hanging out together, intermingling with the bands, which is great. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, that's terrific. Personally glad to hear that kind of change is taking place. All right, let's wrap things up. But anything more you'd like to add? Any thoughts at all?
Yeah, I just wanted to give a huge thank you to you, Andrew, for featuring us here on Pipes and Drums. It's so awesome, and I'm really thankful you'd help promote our youth committee and BCPA as well. And just as like a really final thing, you know, to the younger pipers and drummers out there, like, get involved, help out your associations, and the world belongs to the people who show up. So come out and help out.
Well, that's a great message, and no need to thank us. It's our pleasure. It's a great initiative. Really caught our eye, and I've got a sneaking suspicion that once associations learn of what the BCPA has been up to, you're going to see a lot more of this around the world, which I think would be a welcome thing. So we'll see what happens. But thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it. That's Aiden Fowler, Grace Barnes, and Jack Martin from the BC Pipers Association's Youth Committee, which we will stay tuned to see what happens with that initiative. So thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because we are not the future. I'm not the future. Like I said before, our youth's the future. And those people that you can bring in to learn about us, learn about our culture, pass it along, pass it forward. That's the future.